I'm Mary Ellen D'Angelo Lombari. Have you ever wondered what that flag was flying next to the American flag? Just has one star on it. It's in front of all municipal buildings, state and federal, that house any of the three branches of government: legislative, judicial, or executive. Well, that flag is the Puerto Rican flag. And I hate to have an unanswered question in my mind, so I asked my coworker about the Puerto Rican flag. She was born in Puerto Rico, and she lived there for about 11 years. And she came up here to live with her family. She came to the mainland and lived, and she's raised her own family now, and she has grandchildren. So she's actually been in this country longer than she was in Puerto Rico. And she said, I'm not really sure what the symbolism of the Puerto Rican flag is. I think that it has something to do with being a free republic, but also having an association with the United States. But she gave me a caveat, and she said, I'm not really sure. I mean, don't use that in your research because I'm not really sure I'm right about that. So that made me even more curious. And I decided to look into it more. And what I found out was that there's a lot of symbolism. The flag is rich with symbolism and history, and it definitely has a place of importance in our national arena. And so I want to share what I found out with you. Getting back to my coworker, we talked further, and she said that when she was in Puerto Rico, that they talked to her about the flag and a little bit about what it meant, but she doesn't remember them spending much time on it. Of course, it was a long time ago, but they didn't spend much time on it. But she remembers when she came to this country, they spent a lot more time talking about the American flag than she ever spent in Puerto Rico talking about the Puerto Rican flag. They did the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. They don't have something like that in Puerto Rico. And they talked about the stars and the stripes, and she doesn't remember ever talking about that in Puerto Rico, about the Puerto Rican flag. Yet, even though we place a lot more time and importance talking about the Puerto Rican flag in grade school, we don't spend any time talking about the Puerto Rican flag. Yet, on January 25th of this year, the Huffington Post reported a bill proposed by Representative Charles Fernandez of the Puerto Rican House of Representatives. And he proposed that it would become an offense, an administrative offense, to fly the American flag without the Puerto Rican flag. Currently, it's U.S. State Department regulations, but he wants to make it an offense to fly the American flag without the Puerto Rican flag in front of any municipal or state building that houses any of the branches of the government, or in front of a private corporation. There would be a fine involved, and the fine would be between $100 and $500. So I thought that was interesting. Now it's getting to be even more important. So who designed the Puerto Rican flag? It's a very hotly debated issue, and nobody in my research would come out and say, this is the person. Like we all know in this country, Betsy Ross created the first flag. But U.S. Flag Supply, which maintains an extensive website arsenal of historical information and protocol for flags around the world, claims that a man named Manuel Basosa is likely to be the candidate who designed the flag. They catalog a letter from his daughter in which she states, "My father asked me to sew together some pieces of cloth, red, white, and blue, that he brought himself. This tiny flag had 5 altered stripes, red and white, in a triangle with a 5-pointed star on it." This is the Puerto Rican flag. The 5-pointed star symbolizes the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. The blue background in the triangle represents the Republican government. The equilateral triangle represents the three branches of government: judicial, executive, and legislative. The stripes are a perpetual reminder of the vigilance needed to make a democratic government thrive. The two white stripes represent the rights of man and the freedom of the individual. The three red stripes represent the blood that feeds the three branches of government and the blood sacrificed to maintain democracy. Magali Rivera is a Puerto Rican-born American citizen. She created and maintains a website, Welcome to Puerto Rico, the oldest website dedicated to providing accurate and up-to-date information on Puerto Rico. Ms. Rivera says that the Puerto Rican flag was first used on December 22nd, 1895. A group of 59 Puerto Ricans led by Dr. Julio Henna had met in New York City, and they formed a political group associated with the Cuban Revolutionary Party. As part of their agenda, a flag was designed to rally support for both Puerto Rican and Cuban independence from Spain at that time. El Boricua, a monthly online newsletter published for Puerto Ricans, says the Cuban flag and the Puerto Rican flag are identical with the exception of the colors of the triangle and the red stripes. This is the Puerto Rican flag. As you can see, the triangle, instead of being blue, is red. And the colored stripes, instead of being red, are blue. So if you put them side by side, you can see that they're identical except for those two color variations. After the flag was flown in 1899, it became a national symbol. In 1898, it became a symbol of independence against U.S. invasion. In the 1930s, it was adopted by the Nationalist Party, and in 1952, when Puerto Rico became a Commonwealth of the United States, it became officially their national flag. According to U.S. Department regulations, the flag is only flown with the American flag, and this may soon be law. Wouldn't it be prudent for all Americans to know what this flag symbolizes and how it is woven into American history? In conclusion, Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth of the United States, and it has been since 1952. The Puerto Rican flag is flown, according to U.S. State Department regulations, only with the American flag, and this may soon be law. If the symbolism, history, and status of the Puerto Rican flag was taught in public grade schools, we could inform U.S. children about its importance in our national arena. Latina, an online publication, quoted Representative Charlie Hernandez in 2013. The flag is the national symbol of the highest value to a nation. It is the main symbol that identifies each town and stands before the range of countries that make up the international community. I, for one, want to know, experience, and understand the richness of my nation. I hope this speech provides the same desire for you in relation to the Puerto Rican flag. Thank you.